Today's episode is one of those stories that just stays with you. Abby is a mama whose healing journey with her son unfolded in a way that most people wouldn't even believe if she hadn't lived it. Her son was covered in strange bumps. He couldn't sleep. He was an incredibly picky eater, and nothing, not even thousands of dollars in appointments and herbs, brought him relief until she found only. She said yes to the Rebalance Kit before she even finished reading the page. She just knew. And what happened next is something every mama deserves to hear. In this conversation, Abby shares how parasites and candida began exiting her son's body, even through his skin. She talks about the emotional weight she didn't even realize she was carrying and how it all began to lift. And she shares how that clarity and peace moved through her whole family. Abby is now a mentor inside the Rebalancing Collective, and the way she leads from experience, trust, simplicity, and truth is something I know will speak to you. This is a story about the body's ability to heal, about a mama's intuition, and about what becomes possible when we stop making healing so complicated. Welcome to the Follow Your Gut podcast, the show for the woman who's ready to stop outsourcing her and her family's health and start leading it. I'm your host, Juniper. Every week, I'll teach you how to understand your body and your child's symptoms through the lens of the gut so you can take clear, confident steps towards real healing. This isn't about chasing symptoms or following trendy protocols. This is about foundational healing, where we get to the root of it all, your gut. I am so happy you're here. Let's dive in. Welcome to the podcast, Abby. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you and to hear your journey in finding only and your son's healing, and eventually what led you to being one of the mentors in the Rebalancing Collective. So can we just start by getting to know you and hearing your son's story?
Hi, everyone. My name is Abby, and when my son was 1 year old, I discovered he started getting these little weird bumps all across the side of his side area, and I took him to the pediatrician, and it was about an hour wait in the office. And I remember going into, it was our turn next, and without only looking at my son's bump for 2 seconds, the doctor started writing a script for retinol and started giving us all these samples, and I just immediately was like, no, I'm sorry, I don't believe in that. And he kind of gave me this crazy look, and I kind of laughed a little bit, and I just walked out, and immediately I knew something was bigger and something was deeper with what was going on, if I don't know. So I started digging deep, and I remember coming across a few things, just reading, and I figured out, I was like, maybe he has parasites. And so then I came across a naturopath, hollow wave doctor, and I did that for a little bit, and it was just a few little sessions. And I remember after our sessions getting these crazy receipts, and the amount due at each receipt was just insane. It was costing us hundreds to almost thousands of dollars to get these herbs to heal and to pass these parasites. And I was like, we can't afford this. I almost felt bad in a way that I couldn't keep doing this. And so I remember scrolling on Instagram one day, and I came across Only Organics products, and just reading and just seeing all these wonderful testimonies and everything. And I remember I messaged Juniper, and I just fully dove right into trusting the process and getting the kit and just believing in it. Without even getting the kit, I just knew this was going to heal my son. I remember getting our kits and instantly starting and just instantly jumping into the process of healing me and my son, because I did it as well. And I remember just within that week of healing and doing it, his bumps were exploding, and he was passing so many parasites and candida and just, I remember like his eating was, he was such a picky eater. It was like nails on a chalkboard and like biting teeth to like get him to eat something. It was such a like hassle and like so hard for a mom to go through. And he was eating like crazy and like asking, like I would make like myself food and he was asking me for bites of it, and it was just like I was jumping for joy because just even that, him eating was like amazing. Sleeping through the night, he used to wake up and like teeth grinding, wetting his bed, like having accidents and just waking up so often where I was like, this is not like normal. And that sleeping through the night, like that's a win for a mom to like go through. Yeah, the I couldn't like believe in this product more because it's just like the best thing that's ever happened to me and my family. And I'm so thankful for it to like be at my fingertips to help my family and to help everyone else.
So, how long was it before you started like really seeing change? Or like, do you remember how far into the rebalance he was when he started passing parasites?
Honestly, I'm really thankful, and I know it takes a little longer for some people, but I noticed it within the first like 5 days. Um,
That's incredible.
yeah, and I remember he actually had like a couple accident, like he's fully potty trained and stuff, but I remember like him fully having to go to the bathroom, and he like accidentally just like went into like the grass, and I was like examining, and I was like full on seeing like parasites, and I was like, this is working. And he was improving so much within that first week. So I'm really thankful for that.
Well, and I hear like it can feel intimidating to say this because you are now in the community and you're seeing some other families who are many weeks in and maybe they're not seeing
Mm-hmm.
as healing as quickly. And so for anybody listening, like you really just have to go into this trusting that your process is going to be exactly what it's supposed to be. And everybody's healing timeline is unique, and it's beautiful when it's really fast and it's beautiful when it's slower, and there isn't a right or wrong way, but I'm really happy for you guys that it was so quick. And will you tell us what you experienced in your rebalance? What did this do for you?
Wow. I didn't even honestly realize I needed it so bad. I just wanted to do it to support Ocean a little more, to like show him mama's doing it too. And the crazy benefits I was even seeing with myself, like I wouldn't necessarily call it postpartum depression, but I would feel like a little like brain fog sometimes, like anger outburst, and like I've never really talked about this, but I really feel like that helped like this heaviness like release. And I feel like my brain was so overloaded with so much. Like I have gotten like heavy metal tested and stuff, and so I feel like my brain was so overloaded with heavy metals, and I almost felt like an instant relief of that, which was interesting. And I had tons of candida pass and parasites, and I noticed while breastfeeding my baby, even like him getting the benefits through it and seeing like parasites in his diaper, and even like him sleeping better through the night, and him like his fussiness getting better. So he was getting like full on benefits through my milk, which was really amazing and beautiful.
Well, I can relate so much to this, and I think so many mamas listening to is we don't even realize that we need it. we I think the majority of women go into this for their children, whether they're breastfeeding, they're trying to heal their breastfeeding baby, or just like you wanting to do it alongside your child and have that experience together. And I know for me that what you are talking, like that brain clarity, the gut brain connection is so strong. And that's what I also noticed. I have always had ADHD, and my mind's ability to focus and actually complete a task completely changed when I healed my gut to do it for my son because I was breastfeeding and also pregnant. And so I love hearing your experience too. And this is a parallel that every mama who does this for their child experiences. It's the brain fog that lifts. It's the chaos. You know, as moms, our brains are always so loud and we hold so much responsibility. And it's kind of like it all softens.
Yeah, I felt more relaxed.
Yeah. And then, of course, when our children are sleeping better, we're sleeping better, and life just gets really good. And so, this is kind of a side of rebalancing where it's really hard for people to grasp the concept of proactive rebalancing. People find their way here to heal a symptom. And what I've learned in this journey is, and actually, like where it only came from, is the power of actually proactively nurturing our guts and staying ahead of it and being able to really live in this state of thriving versus just reactively healing from symptoms all the time. And I think most of us find our way here from that place. But once we get here, we get to maintain this state of thriving, and motherhood becomes so fun. So, Abby, you share a lot in your stories and on Instagram about Only. Will you share a little bit now? So, your son healed so beautifully. And actually, before we move on to that, I remember you sharing with me on Instagram once about the little bumps that he had on his skin and them just like bursting and almost like the parasites were coming out of his skin. Will you just like, I want to like have a visual here. I want to go through that. Maybe it feels, I see your face and maybe it's like triggers these memories that feel so yucky, but this is the healing. And if you've been around Only for even a minute, there's poop pictures
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
all the real deal everywhere.
Well, it was intense because I remember, so he would get these bumps and they would spread. And then one would get really, really big out of nowhere and really, really red and almost like a little whitehead on top, like during like the cleanse. And for me, that was obviously his body detoxing and doing its thing and everything. But then when it would come to bursting, it literally looked like a worm coming out. Like it looked like a little white, like long little worm coming out, and I would kind of give it a little like pressure to like help a little bit without like obviously hurting Ocean, but he didn't really mind. He kind of like just let it go with the flow, and I would like kind of like work it out, and it was like really long. Like it was like a long white, like looked like a worm. It looked like a parasite. So I mean, I feel like a lot of people like they can release parasites in different ways. And I think with Ocean, he was releasing them through his skin, through those bumps. Like it was like coming out through those bumps. Like when it was having that like episode of flaring up and one would get really, really intense, like me and my husband would look at each other and like, it's coming out, you know? And so then when that would happen, out of like the next day would be completely dried up. So it was like the craziest thing to witness. Yeah.
That is so amazing. And I love how you just went into this with so much confidence and really trusting in the process. And a lot of times when something like that comes up, it's really easy. You and Katie, our other mentor, and I, we were just recently talking about this, how our culture has really conditioned us to be so fearful of healing. And so a lot of times what I've been seeing in my DMs for years and what's now coming to the community a little bit is people are actually experiencing the healing phase, right? So for Ocean, this looked like these bumps that parasite or something was coming out of, whatever his body needed to work out. It was making its way out through his skin. And you just embrace this with so much confidence of this is how his body is healing. And so first, I just want to acknowledge you in leading him so confidently. And also for anybody listening, that everybody's healing is unique and our bodies are going to purge overgrowths differently. For some people, it's through our urine. For some people, it's just through our stools. For a lot of people, it's through our skin. And, some people might get really swollen lymph nodes or like a rash in their armpit, or maybe you get a yeast infection on your toes. A lot of people, it's your scalp, and it's the bad overgrowth. So whether it's bad bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus, parasites, it's leaving your body, and that is the healing. But what we see so often is people get to this stage of it leaving, and it can feel kind of scary. And the biggest mistake people make in their healing journey is they get to that point where it's leaving and they're like, ah, this is scary. This must be a negative reaction, when really it's the healing.
Yep, that's so true. I remember that so much. Like, even with Ocean, like during the cleanse, he did have a big flare up. And it was the picture I sent you with a huge rash along his side. And it was like a few extra bumps. And I was like, this is just his way of like purging what's going on. And I fully just trusted that and just did my thing with it and gave him extra support. And some days I did have to give him a little double dosage. And the days I felt like he needed to be a little more supported. And it really did wonders on those days. So yeah, I really feel like everyone is different with the healing process, and that's okay. Like, it's just to like fully lean into it and trust the process and know that it's working. That's the biggest thing.
Well, and you just really leaning into it and knowing, okay, if he's flaring today, I'm just going to give him an extra dose of cleanse, or I'm going to apply Relieve More, is really how we take accountability for our unique healing journeys, right? And knowing that all of the products are designed to be used exactly that way, however much you need them. The rebalancing the dosage guide is kind of the foundation, and do that at minimum. But if you need more, like, trust your intuition, trust your gut, and follow that lead to really help your healing journey match where you are, what your child needs. So, Abby, as we mentioned, we launched the Rebalancing Collective about a week ago. And so I think what I want to ask you right now is, first of all, what made you say yes to being a mentor?
Oh, that was so easy. Because I just like believe in this product so much, and I believe in everything that you do. Truly, like, I remember getting the cleanse and getting the kit with and just like full I was like obsessed because the benefits and like everything I was seeing with healing my family, my husband, my dog, my chickens. Like, it was doing like wonders for my whole family. It's literally been amazing for everything. So I remember just chatting with you, and we were just connecting so well with this conversation and like what you were like bringing forward. And I was like, it was an immediate yes, because I knew like what it did for my family. I just wanted to share that with everyone else and just be support to all these other mamas going through the same thing, and hold that space for them that this does work. And even if it takes a little longer, that it's okay. And to have this support is like, even just like to have a conversation or just simply being there for someone is, it's truly, I feel like, my calling, I guess, that I feel really excited about to be here for everyone. And it's such a beautiful space. So I hope everyone comes and joins and shares what they're going through and their wins. It's been exciting.
Well, I have said this to you so many times, but you're doing so amazing at holding space for everybody and really just guiding them from the same confident place that you healed your family from, which is such a gift to everybody. So we are all really, really grateful. And as we're talking about the community, how would you describe the culture of that space for anybody listening? Somebody is maybe like, ooh, maybe I want to do that, but I feel so busy. I don't want to add something more to my plate. Let's talk to that mama for a minute.
I feel like it's a really powerful space and sacred space at the same time. Like, it's very vulnerable and sensitive, but also really empowering for all these mamas coming in. Um, yeah, I feel like these moms are sharing such sensitive stories and with their healing journey, but the amount of support has been amazing. And also with other moms relating and being there for them has been really cool to see, because it can feel lonely to go through this process alone and like healing. And you could have days where you're like, yes, this is amazing. And then some days where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm want to turn to like, like the easy way, like not healing the actual gut. So I feel like it's a really beautiful space to come in and just feel heard and feel supported and feel held. And just, yeah, it's really cool to see and be a part of.
Well, and I'll add to that that for five only is coming up on our 5-year birthday in June. So I guess when this episode goes live, we'll be right at our birthday. And for those 5 years, I've really tried to hold this support in like one-on-one in DMs. And it's been really special. And I've just hit this point of capacity of I can no longer sustain showing up like this for the scale that we've now reached. And at first it was really sad for me. And I quite honestly debated, should I just cap only? Should I say that we can only sell this amount of rebalance kits a month so that I can really support these women? And the clarity that I came to is actually I've not pushed very hard for only to get here. Only has gotten here because it's so effective and it's helping so many people heal. And the only is growing itself. And for me to step in there is actually taking away from the purpose that I set out to fulfill, which is making the biggest impact that I can. And so I had this moment of how can I possibly continue to hold space for all of these families in a way that's also sustainable for myself? And I dreamt up the community and I immediately reached out to you. And it really came together very quickly. And the space is, again, it's only 4 days old and it's completely blown my mind. So today is May 23rd, the day that we're recording this. And I am completely blown away. And the community space is actually so much more powerful and empowering than any amount of support that I've ever been able to give one person in DMs. And so I am quite honestly sitting here in awe that this is what the next phase of Only looks like and how exciting that is for the world, for all of the moms who need this. And so I thank you for helping hold that space. And also for any mama listening, feeling like, oof, I am completely maxed out in motherhood. I'm taking care of my really sick child. I don't have the capacity to be part of a community. I just want to send Juniper a quick DM and move along. I want to encourage you that the community is here for exactly you. It's not more. It's actually the most clear, supportive healing that you will find. And you can engage as much as you have the capacity for and just lean in. And it's not more. And when you have this rallied support, it actually simplifies your healing so much. And so don't feel like it's this extra thing that you have to take on.
I love that. Yes, it's very personal and very like human to human. It's not automated at all. It's very like genuine responses and like very supported. Like we genuinely care about your healing journey and what you're going through. And we want to like hold that space for you. So yes, it's very, very personal.
So, Abby, what would you say to the mama who is wondering if rebalancing is really going to work for herself or for her child?
I think if you're questioning what's truly going on with your little one, if it's allergies or if it's like an environment issue, if it's something going on, then I truly think that this is your intuition telling you to go ahead and dive in. I mean, it's not going to hurt. like rebalancing your gut isn't going to hurt anything. And I think that's the biggest thing people should understand, because I understand it can be a scary thing to dive into something like this, but it's not going to hurt anything. If anything, it's going to like amplify your child and be the best version of themselves. And it's been the best thing for our family. So I know it's only going to do the best thing for everyone else's family. So I think to truly just like dive in and trust that, and know that this was brought to you for a reason, to trust that instinct.
I love that. Thank you, Abby. Is there anything else you want to share about your story, about the Rebalancing Collective, about anything before we go?
Just that it's been the best thing ever to happen to our life. And I'm so thankful for Only Organics and you, Juniper, for this at our fingertips, and to be a part of this collective to help other mamas, and yeah, to be a part of everyone else's healing journey. I'm so excited for everyone. And yeah, this has been really amazing. And I'm so thankful for you in this amazing healing.
Well, thank you, Abby. I am equally thankful, and it's such an honor to have had the opportunity to be part of your family's healing and transformation, and now to be in this space with you and get to know you more as a human and a mom. And I'm just incredibly forever grateful. Thank you for your time here.
Thank you.
If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend or a family member who's ready to lead her family's healing. Everything mentioned in this episode is linked down below for you in the show notes. Be sure to subscribe to the Nourish newsletter, also linked down below, so you never miss an episode. I will email you the latest episode every Tuesday morning. Everything shared on this show is for educational purposes only, not intended as medical advice. Until next time, trust your body and follow your gut.